Hey everybody, welcome back to Praying Hands and Walking Feet, the channel where we're finding our way without a compass or a map. Today, we're just going to have a little chat about preteens and how their brains work and how we can help parent them best, how we can remain positive in this preteen phase, and how we can help to make it not the pits. I know a lot of people just, literally dread the preteen phase of kids. And it's kind of sad that society has told us that it's a terrible phase and we need to hunker down and get prepared and, all of that for it, because we all go through it. We were there one time and our kids are there now, or they'll be there soon, and then their kids will go through it, and it's just part of life. But it is hard. It's not easy. And so we do have to give grace to them, the preteen who's going through all of this, and to ourselves as the parents who are helping to try and guide them and nurture them and love them and remain patient with them through all of these changes. But what has helped so far, I'm by no means an expert. Our oldest is soon to be 13, so I am by no means an expert. We still have 2 more who get to go through this phase. But what we have started figuring out is that explaining what is happening inside, what is physiologically and physically happening, is so helpful because it makes him feel not alone and not crazy and not like, where did that come from? It's not to give him an out. It's not to make him not responsible for his actions or anything like that. But it's to be empathetic and understanding and look, I know you didn't mean to make that bad decision. I know that you know better. Your brain just really is growing. And so that part of it just wasn't really working right then. So take responsibility for whatever happened and move on. Helping to ease and coach our children through this phase without shame. I feel like that should be the goal. There should be no shame to being a preteen and a teenager. And I feel like society is the exact opposite of that. There is so much shame in just being a normal preteen or teenager and going through these normal phases. But shame can be debilitating and it can ruin a person's spirit. And so I think as parents, what our focus needs to be is how can we do this with love? How can we lead with love and understanding, still keep our firm, clear boundaries, still help to reroute when they need rerouting, but to not shame them, to not make them feel bad for just being who they are and for just thinking the way they think right now. Let's be honest. Preteens, especially preteen boys, make some really dumb decisions, but their brains are growing at such a rapid rate that they, honest to goodness, cannot help it. Yes, they know better. Yes, they know they shouldn't have done that. On any other given day, they would not have made that choice. But today, their brain was preoccupied with sending out such and such a hormone or growing such and such this, that it didn't allow them to think clearly. And so by us offering grace and looking for positive things that they're doing and praising all of the good things that we see to counterbalance all of these, not so smart decisions they might be making, or these not so pleasant faces they might be making at this age, or even comments or tones or attitudes. We, as the parent, as the adult, we get to counteract that with praise and understanding and empathy, all without losing our firm boundaries, all without letting them get away with everything, because that doesn't help them either. So a common phrase that I feel that I keep repeating lately is, you get to take responsibility for your choice and know that I love you all the time, and know that your brain is going through so many changes right now, and it is so amazing to be with you on this journey. This is exciting. You are growing into the man that God has made you to be. And there are bumps along the way, but don't let them stop you. Take responsibility for what you did, and let's move on. And as a parent, helping with that whole responsibility part, This is where we have found as a parent, it gets a little more challenging because you can't just put them in timeout. Like they're preteen, like that's not really gonna do much of anything. And so consequences, like natural consequences versus punishment has been very helpful. Stopping ourselves for a minute to take a breath and recognize like, yeah, he does know better. Yep, this should not have happened. Okay, this is what the consequence is of that. We don't need to pile on punishment after punishment after punishment because let's be real, in this phase of their life, they're making a lot of mistakes. And if all we do is pile on punishment after punishment after punishment, they're going to feel defeated and they're going to start feeling depressed. They're going to start feeling shamed and then they're going to start closing in. And isn't this such a huge problem in our society right now? Everybody says teenagers just don't open up, they don't communicate. Well, what have we piled on them? Have we piled on love, which builds them up? Have we piled on encouragement that this is not a forever thing and that they're still an awesome person? Or have we piled on shame and blame and negativity? It's hard in the moment. But I believe that we can balance. It's like a tightrope act. We can walk and we're going to lean this way and we're going to lean this way, but together we'll make it all through. And just say a prayer, literally. Ask God to help you. I do that all the time. And sometimes I lean on Mary and I'm like, Mary, okay, you had a preteen boy at one time. Like Jesus, when he was 12, stayed at the temple and they were 3 days away. Like that was not a smart decision. And so she's been through this. And honestly, when I ask for help, then I tend to see it from a different view. So prayer helps, positivity helps, pausing helps, praise and understanding, and we can love our children through this rocky. I'll call it a rocky because I don't think it's rough. It's just rocky. We get to be cautious. We get to take some steps forward, some steps back during this journey through preteen ages. So what are some things that you do? I would love to hear some feedback. What are some things that have worked with your teen? Maybe some funny things. Have you approached this phase with humor? I know a lot of people like to use humor to diffuse situations. Sometimes that can backfire, especially with preteens because they might not be in the mood. But how is this age and phase working for you? Have you passed it? Do you have some wisdom to share? Are you in the thick of it like we are right now? Or are you looking forward to it coming and you just want to be prepared? Let us know in the comments and then subscribe below because I'm sure we'll be revisiting this topic as we continue into the teenage years and as our daughter comes up as a preteen because I'm sure that will be a whole different experience. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time.